So before we get into today's lesson, I just want to kind of review what we did last Thursday. So I had you guys find perfect square trinomials. So I gave you part of an expression, and I had you guys find a new c value to create a perfect square trinomial, okay? So in this example, we have x squared plus 4x plus blank. We took our middle term, okay? We squared it. We divided by 2, and then we squared it. So you get 2 squared, which then you get 4. So 4 makes us a perfect square trinomial. So again, what does that mean? What is a perfect square trinomial? Well, that means that the factors are the same. So now if I were to factor this down, okay, what are factors of 4 that add up to 2? Well, 2 and 2. So the factors are exactly the same. And that would be your perfect square trinomial factored down. Okay, let's do another one. So I'm just going to take some examples from the homework. So this is the first one from the homework on Thursday. X squared minus 12x plus c. So we're going to take our b value, so negative 12, oh, it's right over here. Negative 12 over 2, and we're going to square it. So we get negative 6, and we keep those parentheses because we want to make sure we square that negative, so we get 36. Oh, 36. So x squared minus 12x plus 36. That's a trinomial, but then if I were to factor that down, what are factors of 36 that add up to negative 12? Well, that would be x minus 6 and x minus 6. So you would have x minus 6 squared. So this is just the perfect square trinomial factored down. Okay, we're going to use that idea to help us solve some equations now. Okay, so we talked about how to solve equations by factoring. Well, let's say if you can't factor it, or if there's another tool to solve it in a different way, we can use completing the square. Okay, so that's a learning target for today. You can solve each equation by completing the square. So you need to first find a perfect square trinomial. And number 1, I don't give that to you. P squared plus 24p minus, P squared plus 2p minus 24 is not a perfect square trinomial. How can you tell? Factors of negative 24 that add up to 2, they aren't the same, right? They are not the same, so I know it's not a perfect square trinomial. Well, I can factor this, and I can find factors of negative 24 that add up to 2. It would be negative 4 and 6. I still want to use this example to complete the square. So what I'm going to do is, since it's not a perfect square trinomial, I'm going to get rid of that 24, and I'm going to add him to the other side. I don't like him, okay? I'm then going to create a blank because I want to find a c value, okay, that's going to create a perfect square trinomial. A perfect square trinomial for me. Okay, so just like we did on Friday, we're going to take our b value, we're going to divide by 2, and we're going to square it. So we have 1 squared. So I'm going to add that 1 in right there. But now wait a second. If I add a 1 to the left side of the equation, it completely changes it. So I need to balance it out. Just like up here, how I added 24 to the left side, I also had to add it to the right side. So the same idea. If I add it to the left side, I also have to add it to the right side. It's going to balance it out. Okay? So now it should become 25. So now we have p squared plus 2p plus 1 equals 25. Okay? Well, now how is this going to help us solve? Well, this is a perfect square trinomial, so I know I can quickly find factors of 1 that add up to 2, and that would be 1 and 1. Gosh, I've got this new pen, and I don't love the way that it writes. There we go. That would be 1 and 1, or even better, what we want to do is we want to write it as a square, so now I can get rid of this. I can get rid of the square easily. Okay? How can I get rid of a square? Well, I would take the square root of it. So I'm going to take the square root of both sides. The square and the square root cancel out, so p plus 1 equals plus or minus 5, because the square root of 25 is 5. Subtract 1, subtract 1. So p equals negative 1 plus or minus 5, and then just solve that. So you're going to get negative 1 plus 5 is 4, and negative 1 minus 5 is negative 6. So let me show my work. I did negative 1 plus 5 and negative 1 minus 5. And those would be your answers for number 1, for the first example, okay? So by creating a perfect square trinomial here, I can quickly factor it down and then take the square root. Now, please note that I actually said, okay, well, what are factors of 2 that add up, what are factors of 1 that add up to 2? I'm going to show you, I'm hoping you guys start to see a pattern in the next example for a little, to shorten that thought process. Okay, let's try number 3 down here. So, number 3 is not a perfect square trinomial. Factors of 3 that add up to negative 4 are not the same, okay? While we can find factors, we're not going to actually factor. And sometimes we can't. In the next example, we can't factor. I'm just starting off with some nice numbers, some pretty numbers, okay? So I'm going to get rid of that 3. I want to get rid of it and subtract to the other side. So r squared minus 4r minus, plus blank equals negative 3. Do I get a, oh, no, we're okay, sorry. Okay, so now I want to complete this perfect square trinomial. So I'm going to take my middle term, this b, negative 4 over 2, and I'm going to square it. So I get negative 2 squared, which is 4. I'm going to put the 4 here. But since I'm adding it to the left side, I have to add it to the right side as well. I have to balance out the equation. Okay, so now I want to find factors of 4 that add up to negative 2. And they should be the same because we made a perfect square trinomial. So negative 2 and negative 2. So I'm just going to jump ahead and write it like this. I know they're the same. Okay, I'm going to save some steps. And you can even save more steps. When you divide your b value by 2, this will always be your factor. Up here, we had 1. Oh, hey, look, those were our factors. Okay, that only works for a perfect square trinomial. So now I can quickly solve it. Take the square root, those cancel. R minus 2 equals plus or minus 1. Add the 2, R equals 2 plus or minus 1. So it's going to be 3, and it's going to be 1. Remember, I'm separating that out, 2 plus 1 and 2 minus 1. So those are my answers. How can you check your work? Go back up to the original equation, okay, and plug them each in, and they should you should get 0. Also, please note that these two are set equal to 0. If they weren't set equal to 0, you'd want to set them equal to 0. Okay, let's try one where the answers aren't so pretty. Let's try number 2. Let me pause and erase. Okay, so number 2, let me zoom in. We have x squared plus 4x minus 13. Now this one I can't even factor, right? Negative 13, factors of negative 13 that add up to 4, it's just 1 and 13, so I know I can't even factor it. So this is when this strategy is very useful because we can't even factor this. The other two we could factor. That's probably a more simple route. But in this case, I can't even factor it. So let's complete the square. I'm going to add the 13 over x squared plus 4x plus blank. Now you don't have to put that blank in there, but I like to. And what's very helpful too is if you add a blank here too, because sometimes students forget to add it to the right side. So if you put a blank here and then copy that blank over here, it'll help you remember to add that to both. Okay, so we're gonna take our b value. So we have 4 over 2 squared. 4 over 2 is 2, and then 2 squared is 4. So I add a 4 here, and I add a 4 here. This number should always be positive because you're squaring it, sidebar. Okay, so make sure that whatever you're adding here is positive. Okay, so then I lost my train of thought. Oh, okay, we added our C value here and here, so now we want to factor it. So factors of 4 that add up to 2, well, again, this number right here is always going to be your factor, so there's going to be 2 of them, so I'm going to square it. And then 13 plus 4 is 17. Okay? So I'm going to take the square root of both sides. Well, now this time I have a square root of 17. Okay, I can't simplify that down. So I'm just going to leave it as plus or minus 17. I'm then going to subtract my 2 over. So I have x equals negative 2 plus or minus the square root of 17. We like to write, we put this before the radical, because if you write it after, sometimes it might look like it's inside, so be careful. So always put it before. And then I'm fine with you leaving it like this. Some teachers and some answer keys have you separate it out, and technically you should. It's 2 separate answers, right? But I'm totally fine if you just leave it as plus or minus, okay? So this is a irrational answer, and that's why we couldn't solve it with factoring, and that's why we had to complete the square. Something else I want to add before we get to our last example, all the examples that we're doing today have the a value is 1. We will talk about what happens when a value is not 1. That's a different story. Okay, so last one, number 4. Okay, I'm actually going to change number 4 because I've used the b value of 4 too many times now, and I need to mix it up for you guys. So we're going to do this one instead. We're going to do x squared minus 6x plus 1 equals 0. Okay? So I'm going to subtract my 1 over to the other side. X squared minus 6x plus blank equals negative 1 plus blank. I'm going to take my b value. I'm going to do negative 6 over 2 squared. Remember, b over 2 is how we find our new c value to get a perfect square trinomial. So negative 3 squared, make sure you keep your parentheses because you want to make sure that's positive. You want to square that negative so we get 9. So we add 9 here and we add 9 here to balance out the equation. So then this term right here, that's our factor. And there's going to be 2 of them, so I square it. Factors of 9 that add up to negative 6, negative 3, negative 3. Then negative 1 plus 9 is 8. So then I'm going to square root both sides. The square root and the square cancel out. I get x minus 3 equals plus or minus the square root of 8. Now, there's a small difference between the one we did up here and this one. What's the difference between plus or minus 17 and plus or minus 8? Well, plus or minus 8 I can reduce down. I can't reduce down the square root of 17, okay? So before I bring over the minus 3, let's reduce down this 8. So, meaning, is there a perfect square inside of 8? There sure is, and it's a 4, okay? What's the square root of 4? It is 2. So 2, the plus or minus is in front of the 2, and then the square root of 2 is left over. Okay, then I add my 3 over. So I have x equals 3 plus or minus 2 square root of 2. And I do not add those together because the 3 does not have a square root with it, so they're not like terms. So that would be my answer. Or if you separate them out, because they are 2 separate terms, it's a little bit more accurate. But I'm fine with you guys leaving it as plus or minus. Okay, and so that's how you solve equations by completing the square. Today, just watch the video, and then we'll do more practice later. Bye, guys.